What's going on, everyone? Continuing on with the Leprechaun series of the fifth one in the series, Leprechaun in the Hood. Released by Trimark Pictures, March 28th, 2000. Um, starring Warwick Davis, as always, as the Leprechaun, and Ice-T, the rapper, who's also in Body Count, the metal band, which is actually a pretty good band. He's been busy with that recently, so yeah. It was written by Doug Hall and John Huffman, and it was produced by Michael Flanagan and co-produced and directed by Rob Spera, who's also done films like The Sweet Life, Bloody Murder 2, which is a good independent slasher film. Those two films are interesting if you like slasher films. Witten Witchcraft, and Fathers and Sons. So he has like a little bit of a track record of indie sequels and not more like thriller type deals, but it's a white guy, not a black guy. Not trying to be racist here. Leprechaun in the Hood. Well, first off, the fourth one they took him to space. So obviously the logical reasoning to bring it where they're going to take Leprechaun next would be to the Hood. Because what more ridiculous things can you think of than going from space to the Hood or vice versa? But yeah, so as the title suggests, this film is pretty cheesy and corny, but but it follows your typical tropes of the first, how the series has been going. You have some people that are like having trouble, some rappers that are trying to send a positive message and stuff, and that's not what the rap game wants, and in New York, anyways. And they basically come across a leprechaun's like golden flute, which ends up when one of them plays the flute, it changes their luck and turns their luck around. So they take it and steal it in a ridiculous manner. And the leprechaun comes back and goes on a killing spree trying to get his flute back. So, So it has your typical leprechaun sort of premise, but the setting is what changes it. Now the acting in this is pretty cheesy and ridiculous, and sometimes pretty bad. So just be aware of that. Ice-T is hilarious in this film. He plays like a record label boss, and he's the big pimp and stuff, and always trying to be the badass and stuff. And it's really entertaining. His character is really entertaining. Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun is always funny. He doesn't have as many he has like quite a few one-liners, but they don't really hold up very well right now. But it's still amusing and stuff in this, and but overall, this film is very slow. The pacing of it is terrible. It's far between kills, and you end up getting annoyed with most of the rappers and stuff. The comic relief guy, who's in it, is pretty funny and holds up basically that like portion of the film. But when the kills are hugely spread out through this and very minimal. And you don't see the leprechaun very often. You see him for like maybe 10 minutes of the whole hour and a half film. Most of it's like the rappers trying to progress their story. I think they try to focus on the characters and try to make it believable that you're in the hood a little too much. And the film creators and stuff basically try to make it cheesy and as cheesy, and it looked more like an SNL skit for the most part than an actual cohesive horror comedy. There's definitely no horror in this one. It's your typical leprechaun stuff, but going from like the crazy practical effects and the can't be cheesy nature of the fourth one to this one, it makes it seem super dull, and it's so far the worst one of the series, I think. I like the setting and the way they tried to change it up. That was amusing, where you get the Leprechaun smoking dope and stuff. That's always funny and entertaining. And using his magical abilities and stuff a bit in this film was good. But overall, they spent way too much time focusing on trying to make believable characters, which I can see why they would try to do that. But it ends up being too overfilled with that than actually focusing on what the title suggests the film's going to be. And it leaves you pretty much disappointed because there's not very many leprechaun kills. There's barely any leprechaun in the whole film. And you spend more time listening to crappy rap music than the actual seeing the actual cheesy leprechaun stuff that you came to see. So um overall, it was a unique attempt to add a sequel in a good direction. They just didn't think it all the way through, I thought. And yeah, with cheesy acting and yeah, not a good script, you kind of don't have that cohesive, interesting sequel that you're hoping for. So, Leprechaun in the Hood is probably the worst one so far in the series. I love Leprechaun in Space way more. And yeah, this one just didn't grasp me. I was kind of bored through half of it. And when the good stuff was happening, I wish there was a lot more to it. So Leprechaun in the Hood is getting a 1.5 out of 5 from me because it wasn't all there. There is some good stuff which made it interesting enough, but with the pacing and the lack of leprechaun and kills really takes you out of this film, and it's more like watching a cheesy SNL skit with some leprechaun stuff thrown in. So yeah, the show's linked down below if you want to check it out. If you haven't seen this and you like the Leprechaun series, or you just want to see what I'm talking about, it's linked down below. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram where I post clips of films I'm going to review in the future, all my stories. So make sure you follow me there. I usually have the title and hashtag and the subgenre of film in there too. So you can't, if it's something you're not interested in, don't bother. You don't have to worry about it. So yeah, anyways, follow me on Instagram, like this video, share it somewhere people are aware of the Leprechaun series. Yeah, make sure you comment down below your opinions of this film if you've seen it. Let me know what you thought. Did you think this like the same way I did, or do you absolutely love this film? Was it different in your eyes? Let me know. I'd love to hear your opinions down below. Yeah, also make sure you subscribe because you usually never know what I'm going to talk about next. So it might be the next one, Leprechaun series, or it might be something completely different. So make sure you subscribe. Also, if you have any films at all that you want to hear my opinions on, comment them down below. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. So yeah, with that, Leprechaun in the Hood was a pretty big disappointment in the Leprechaun franchise. I have 3 other films to go through, so hopefully I get to the next one, because the next one, I've heard some pretty good stuff about it, so that should be interesting. But till the next review, cheers.